I've got a new batch of AR upgrades for you to take a look at. I've got the Tyrant CNC NexGen stock, Viking Tactics Hydura padded sling, and the Edgar Sherman design angled foregrip on this week's Gear Grind. Let's take a look first at this Tyrant CNC NexGen AR-15 buttstock with the carbon fiber cheek piece and hybrid construction. From the tubes I tried this out on, just to make sure of the fit between a few different manufacturers, this stock is pretty damn tight, minimal rattle. And it should be at this price point. This is a mixture of aluminum, polymer, and carbon fiber. Costs around $150, so it shouldn't be loose. Also, QD cups on both sides, that's what I expect, and Tyrant delivers for your sling mounting needs. Feel. This is also a pretty lightweight stock, and it's fairly stubby as well. I'd say it's more or less on par with a basic stock in terms of weight, but the important factor here is comfort. You have a rubberized butt pad and that carbon fiber cheek piece. Being a Minnesotan shooter, I can tell you that getting a good cheek weld on a cold winter day can get pretty uncomfortable. But because the heat transfers so slowly through carbon fiber, it's nice and comfortable. Also, this idea does apply to warm climates if you're out in the desert. Form. This is what Tyrant is known for, and it shows in this really striking design. This sort of arrow shape pointing forward, making up the body of the stock, anodizing in the color of your choice, and the always cool carbon fiber cheek piece up top. It all comes together really well, but the great thing is this isn't just form over function. The stock locks up nicely, the cheek feature works as advertised, and it looks badass. If something like this is your speed, don't feel like you're trading looks for performance. You get it all here. This week, I've got the Viking Tactics Hydura padded adjustable sling. The sling is relatively thin at only about an inch wide, and you can cut the length down to fit you specifically. The other nice thing is obviously this padded material, which is wider at about 2 inches or so, which really gives the sling a comfortable fit. Feel. Padded slings are typically going to be more comfortable than non-padded, and that's especially true if you've got a heavier rifle or carrying it for long periods. This sling allows you to carry the load no problem, distributing weight in a broad band over your shoulder. But this isn't just some hunting sling. You also have a quick adjustment system with a simple paracord pull tab, plus this leather feeling tab. So switching from tight slung for carry to actively engaged with the rifle is very simple. Pull the paracord back to go loose, pull the leather part close for tight. Viking Tactics really makes a good product here. All the stitching looks good, as does the material. There's also a lot going on with respect to the two pull tabs, but that's more pressing for function rather than looks. Function. So I know Viking Tactics has been around for a while, and though I don't have as much first-hand experience with their products, I really liked when I was handling the Hydura sling. The thinner, functional portion of the sling combined with that comfortable, foam-padded strap make it really easy to mount up for carry and dynamic shooting. The two adjustment tabs took a bit for me to get used to. Most other slings use one tab that goes both ways rather than two for specific directions. It's a little counterintuitive, but once I got used to it, it definitely works well, and I found myself fishing for adjustment a lot less than other slings. Features. Now, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but a padded sling like this is most at home with a heavy rifle. Not really a factor with my demo gun today, but bear with me. If you're mounting a lot of gear to your AR-15, lasers, optics, suppressor, or going with a heavier platform like an AR-10 or piston-driven rifle, investing in a padded sling will help you distribute that weight and make lugging your rifle around a lot more comfortable. Especially with this sling with its adjustments and everything else, you're just adding capability and comfort for yourself. Up front, let's talk about the Edgar Sherman design enhanced foregrip, which you can get in M-LOK or classic Picatinny. Fit. This angled foregrip is available in M-LOK or Picatinny, so the most widely used handguards will be able to accept these. Both versions are about 2 inches long, with the M-LOK version taking a slot and a half. Both versions are secured in place with 2 screws, so you get a really positive index and a promise that these are not going to be moving once you get them where you want. Feel. Once you get this grip mounted on your rifle, the first thing you'll notice is this really nice texturing where your hand will rest. I've been disappointed by other angled foregrips before this one, just something not quite right about how they fit my hand. At least for me, this one falls in a lot more naturally, with a smoother angle and transition up the rail, while providing a nice grippy texture for your most aggressive of C-clamp grips. Form. What's really cool about any of the EFGs is that they have this really cool topographic pattern molded right into the side. I think that provides a cool bit of personality you don't really see on parts like this outside of their overall shape. though these will be a small bump up in price from the standard black nylon. Like I mentioned, this foregrip is among the most comfortable foregrips I've used to date, and that's kind of to be expected. ESD stuff tends to be super ergonomic, well thought out, and that translates into a really nice grip that not only feels nice in the hand, but all the way up your forearm. Now, what that translates to in terms of performance is having an easier time driving the rifle into your shoulder and bracing for recoil. With a solid grip and a thumb over bore hold, you can mitigate muzzle rise and keep your rifle on target, which was definitely my experience with it. My experience with the EFG has taught me a few things. I personally prefer using vertical grips as angled grips simply because a lot of angled grips don't fit my hands quite right. But even on a pretty short setup, the ESD grip works better for me. Plus, it has everything I like about an AR part. It's functional, comfortable, has a little personality without going overboard, with options for aesthetics beyond what just I prefer. And honestly, compared to a lot of the most popular angled grips out there, you could do a lot worse than 30 bucks for a nice forward grip. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of this gear today. I think with the AR being so modular, it's worthwhile to look at some tough ergonomic parts to help your rifle fit a little bit better with not a lot of work. And as always, if there's an AR or pistol upgrade you want me to go hands-on with, drop a comment down below. I'll give you my honest take on it in a future video.